Contenders or pretenders? I'm going to name a series of teams, and I want you to let me know whether you feel like they are real or fake, right? Contenders or pretenders? Let's start at the top. San Francisco 49ers.
Contenders.
They're contenders, 4
Yeah,
and
they're
4 on the
contenders.
season. I like
Yeah.
what I'm seeing from them. The new addition to CMC, they clean house at the running back position to let CMC know it's yours, in the words of my man Drizzy Drake. So, uh, I agree with you. I think the Niners are definitely contenders here. We'll see what happens though. Green Bay Packers at 3-5.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
They're pretenders. Come
Moving
on.
on, they definitely
Yeah.
pretenders. Aaron Rodgers has no help at the wide receiver position. They're second in drops this season.
He
It's
doesn't even want to be there.
yeah, it's all bad. He's either gonna retire or he what? Didn't he sign a new contract with
He's
Green Bay?
gone. He's out of there. He's retired. He's not
So
playing
his
football.
only
He
option is
doesn't want to play
retiring.
football, bro.
Yeah, that's
He
his
wants
only
to go.
option.
He wants to go live with his girlfriend and do shrooms and all
Yeah,
that, and then
yeah.
he'll have a good life.
I think he's done after that. He's just moping around at this point. The 3-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh man. I mean, they got to be contenders just because it's Tom Brady, man. I'm not gonna bet against Tom Brady. I can't bet against Tom Brady.
Normally I don't bet against Tom Brady, but I just think this is a hole that he might not be able to pull himself out of. Maybe if he was playing better, but they were still losing, I would give him a chance. But I got them as pretenders.
Mm.
The 5-3 New York Jets.
Pretenders. It's Zach Wilson. He's a bottom three quarterback in the NFL. They're pretenders. They're
Yeah,
getting carried by a great defensive minded coach in Robert Saleh. They were getting carried by a great run game in Brees Hall. Now he's gone. You got top five corner in Sauce Gardner. DJ Reed is playing great. Like it's yeah,
I agree.
pretenders.
I agree. The Jets are definitely pretenders. They haven't been in a situation to where Wilson has to sling it, coming from behind. And when he is in that situation and he has to do that, he throws interceptions. He's just garbage. And anybody that ever compared him to Patrick Mahomes, the arm angles, the arm talent, I don't want to hear about that garbage. That's trash. He's garbage. And the Jets are definitely pretenders. The 7-0 Philadelphia Eagles.
And contenders doesn't even describe it. They should be considered favorites.
Favorites. What's understood don't have to be explained. Moving on. The 5-3 Seattle Seahawks.
Contenders.
No
Already
doubt.
said
I
it.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I think the Seahawks are for real. They got everything they need defensively. Defensively on the line, Geno Smith is playing amazing. The offensive line is protecting him. I like what I see in Kenneth Walker. They still have a big play wide receiver, which is something you need to be successful, especially in the playoffs and cold weather. Running game and defense travels. But if you got a number one wide receiver, especially a big body one that can catch a 50-50 ball, it's going to be hard to stop that and deal with that. So I think the Seahawks are definitely contenders. Minnesota at 6-1.
I mean, I love me some Kirk Cousins. I love me some Kirk Cousins.
Hmm.
Contenders, baby. Come on.
I'm kind of torn between the two with Minnesota because I do have them high on pretty decently ranked in my power rankings. But I got half the mind to say that they pretenders. Look, I predicted that they would win this division. I actually bet on it. I bet coming into this season that Minnesota would take this division. But I just don't think they have what it takes in the playoffs. I do not trust Kirk Cousins when the money is on the line, right? When he's playing with a lead and he's expected to win, it's all fun and dandy. But when the rubber needs to meet the road and we got money on the line and we got to take this home, Kirk Cousins folds like a lawn chair, fold like a bad hand in poker, fold like a laundromat. I don't trust him. You might like him, you might love him, but I don't trust him. 5-2 Tennessee Titans.
Pretenders. All the way pretenders. I mean, you got no wide receiver core. You got Derrick Henry, and that's it. And I'm going to be so blatantly honest here. Like, there is just no way that with the current workload Derrick Henry is getting that he stays healthy. There's no way. He is either going to be a top, like, 5 running back ever and just be able to stay healthy with all this workload. And that's possible. He's big as hell and physically imposing and one of the greatest runners we've ever seen, one of the most physically imposing runners we've ever seen. But I don't think he's going to be one of the greatest ever to do it, and I don't think he can stay healthy with the workload he's getting. We saw it last year. Running backs can't. In today's game, running backs can't stay healthy with that workload. So I think there's just no way he stays healthy. If they do, maybe they could win a playoff game. Like, maybe. But it's the AFC, man. The AFC is so stacked.
That's right about that. Simply because of that, the AFC is stacked, so I think the Titans are pretenders, and I do think Derrick Henry will go down as one of the greatest running backs to ever do it, especially from a per game basis, because I don't think this is sustainable for the next 5 to 6 years, which is what he's going to have to make it to be mentioned with those some of those all-time greats. But I do think when you look back on Derrick Henry's career, you'll realize how dominant he was, and he'll have a special place in history. Hopefully Canton as well. But as far as today, right now, at 5-2, the Titans, y'all are definitely pretenders. Look, you got the little rookie quarterback in there. You know, I liked him coming out of college. I want to see what he can do when the rubber needs to meet the road. I know he's a rookie, but let's be honest. We can't depend on that right here, right now, especially the way the AFC looks at this juncture. We can't depend on that. So we don't know how long Ryan Tannehill is going to be out. We'll see where that goes. But what about the 5-3 Dolphins?
Oh, I mean, might be like a hot take. I like Tua. I think he's great. I think he's borderline MVP level, but they're pretenders completely.
No,
I think.
I think the Dolphins are contenders. Real talk.
Oh, really?
I do. I think the Dolphins are contenders. What are they missing? You know, they got elite level play in the secondary. Didn't they just secure a pass rusher?
They just got Bradley
Chubb, which is what you need in the playoffs. They just secured a pass rusher. They got elite level secondary play, elite level quarterback play as of late. They have two dynamic wide receivers that you need to take account for. This ain't Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman. No. Jalen Waddle is a different species of animal.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call him. I want to say dog, but I refer to too many great talents as dogs. Jalen Waddle is a different species of animal. You couple him with Ricky Reek, then they just got a running back in the backfield to complement Raheem Mostert. So you add Jeff Wilson, I believe. You add some speed with some power. The offensive line
is Niners running back.
Bro, like
they're bringing in the Niners.
They're bringing them all back. So
yeah, I don't know though.
I think the Dolphins are for real. They can beat anybody in a hurry. Listen, what makes the Dolphins so dangerous is their comeback ability. They're never out of a game because they got a big right hand that Patrick Mahomes used to possess. Now that that's been taken away, he's kind of got to chip at you. He's got to chip away at you. He's got to pinch you. He's got to annoy you. These guys can come out here for one-play touchdown. You seen him. I said, strike to Jalen Waddle. I said, oh, okay. Strike to Tyreek Hill, 60 yards. I'm like, damn. These boys are so explosive, and when you got that type of weapon of mass destruction, you can come back from any deficit just like that, and that's dangerous, especially in the playoffs.
We saw it versus the Ravens.
That's what I'm saying.
Ravens when they came back. But like, here's my thing. Like, I want to be clear. When I say they're pretenders, I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're still probably like a top 6-7 team in the NFL, maybe even top 5. But the sad reality is you got two bad mofos over in the AFC. You got Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, and the sad reality here is that Sean McDermott and Andy Reid are better coaches than Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel's a genius. He's a great coach. He's one of the better young coaches in the NFL. He's done great this year. But when the coaching staff is worse, when the quarterback is a lot better, don't get me wrong, Tua's good. We'll get to that. Tua's good. But when the coaching staff is better and the quarterback is better, and I don't think you can beat the Bills or the Chiefs right now if you're the Dolphins. They might win a playoff game or two and be great, but real Super Bowl contenders, like real in the AFC, nah.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that take. Gagne says Wilson is talented. I doubt it. I don't know what talented is if you considering Wilson to be talented. I hope you're talking about Russell Wilson because he still is talented. He's just playing like ass. But if you're talking about Zach Wilson,
talking about Jeff Wilson.
Oh, Jeff Wilson. I thought you were talking about Zach Wilson. He's Gabricio. Mike McDaniel is cute AF. Jeff Wilson. Okay, there it is. He talking about So yeah. That's your opinion, but you can keep it to yourself. But the Giants, Giants 6-2, contenders or pretenders?
I mean, we kind of already. That was one of my takeaways from the week is that they're frauds.
Yeah.
I don't think they're contenders. Again, like we said, like Saquon Barkley can only do so much. The offensive line is good. They're gonna move for him, but we saw it. We saw it in recent games. Like if you take Saquon, not even take him away. You can't take Saquon Barkley out of the game. We all know that. He's too damn good to just take him out of the game. It's like saying to take Nick Chubb out of the game. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
But even just limit him. Let him not go off on you. Let him have a good game. Let him go for 80 yards, 90 yards, even a touchdown. Let him get 90 yards and a touchdown. Let him just not take over the game.
That ain't enough to beat them. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Giants are definitely pretenders. I don't know where this success is coming from. I can't put my finger on it, so therefore I'm calling you pretenders. Cowboys at 6-2.
Man, that's hard. I have one reason why I think they're gonna be pretenders, because I think with how we saw them this last week, if they were gonna play how they played last week, the Cowboys are legit NFC Super Bowl contenders.
Mm.
But Jerry Jones is too damn prideful. He paid Ezekiel Elliott too much damn money. So
Mm-hmm.
they're not gonna jump off that horse. They're gonna let Zeke come in and get 10 carries a game, and they're gonna give Pollard probably 10 to 12 carries a game, but you're not gonna let Pollard go apeshit again like he did last week. Pollard had a buck 50 on like 15 carries, 10
Facts.
yards per carry, 3 tutties. He's dynamic in the receiving game. He's dynamic in the return game. He's dynamic on the ground. He does everything good. Tony Pollard could legit be a top 5 running back in the NFL if he got the workload that we see some of these other top 5 backs get, especially with Zach Martin pushing, and you got a really good offensive line. But Jerry Jones is too damn prideful, and he's not going to let Zeke's fat ass sit on the bench.
Nah, I don't think he will, and I think that'll be at the demise of the success of the team because I think they're gonna force feed Zeke to try to prove a point, and I don't like that. Tony
Yeah, I
Pollard
don't
has
like
been
that.
a better player for the past 2 seasons, 2.5 seasons to say the
Yeah,
least,
I
and they
agree.
still
I
haven't
agree.
given him the workload that he's earned, in my opinion. I understand that you paid Zeke, but you got to realize that you made a mistake, chalk it up, and live with your losses, right? Zeke should be the backup. Tony Pollard is the man. And just when you think, oh, well, Tony Pollard's going to sneak up on you, can he do it? Can he handle a full workload? Well, he didn't sneak up on people last year in the fantasy playoffs, or 2 years ago in the fantasy playoffs where he took off. He didn't sneak up on people yesterday when he had a great game. Like you said, over a buck 53 touchdowns. Everybody knew he was coming, and he still produced.
Yeah.
So the questions on whether or not Tony Pollard is more explosive or even just a better runner of the football than Zeke should have been answered by the performance that he put on a few days back. So
Yeah,
honestly,
I agree.
I'm an Eagles fan, but I do think the Cowboys are contenders. I'm not going to lie. Dak makes them a better team. It brings a different element. So we do have to strap our boots on when we see these boys in a few weeks, but we're going to see if they can continue to be persistent with their players of late. Last but not least, Ravens at 5-3.
This one's hard. I don't even know where I'm at on this one, to be honest, because some weeks we see this MVP Lamar Jackson, the dude who looks like the best player in football by a wide margin, a dude who can't miss a pass. He's running for 100 yards, a perfect passer rating, hitting deep balls, hitting balls over the middle, outside the numbers, making plays happen that you couldn't even do in Madden. And then some weeks you see a game where Lamar Jackson just can't put it together, and he's missing wide open Mark Andrews over the middle. He's missing wide open players down the field, and he's throwing games away. He's choking. He is the most inconsistent superstar I think in all of sports, and it's hard because he's so damn good and he's so damn flashy that we love watching him play, and he's really really good, but it's hard for me to call him a real contender when he's choked away so many games. I don't know if I can do it. Like I really don't know if I can do it, especially again in the AFC when you got the Browns who are playing really really good right now with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. They're getting a top 5 quarterback in Deshaun Watson coming back. Amari Cooper just went for a buck 30 and a tutty with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. And you're gonna tell me that he's getting a top 5 thrower of the football in Deshaun Watson back in week 11 or in game 11 of the season, week 13? Come on, man. Like I don't even know if they're gonna be a top 2 team in the division. The Joe Burrow and the Bengals, like they just got shit on by the Browns, but the Bengals are good, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't know in the AFC.
So you
I don't
going
think they can
pretenders?
contend. I think I'm going pretenders on them, but it's like close. I'm like right on the line. If Lamar Jackson has another good week, 2 good games in a row, I might call him contenders. It's just hard.
You know what's crazy? I agree with you. I think exactly what you said is 100% right? And it's highlighted because it's Lamar Jackson. But here's the thing about it. This is what makes them pretenders. He can't afford to do that. Not only on a regular basis, but on a game-to-game basis. He can't have those pedestrian games because the Ravens will lose if he does.
Yeah.
He's one of those quarterbacks that is the entire squad. He has to be Superman week in and week out for the Ravens to have a shot, not even to guarantee a win, just to have a shot because of the lack of playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. So with that being said, he can't come out here and have a Zach Wilson type game and the Jets still win, or have a Daniel Jones type game and the Jets still win, because who the hell you going to lean on if Lamar Jackson isn't producing at the highest of highs? For that reason alone, because he has to play Superman week in and week out and it's hard to sustain that, I'm going to call them pretenders only for that reason alone.